Turn off the camera. And now we are on to the public session again, where we're dealing with what issues were brought up during the executive session. Several issues of documentation have been discussed and will be presented at the following Tuesday. Next Tuesday, December 8th, there will be another Personnel Committee meeting at 5:30 here at the PEG Center. It's already been scheduled. At that time, we will discuss the documentation and go over it that has been brought up. Until then, we really can only table it until Tuesday because no decisions can be made here without the board. We can make a recommendation. Was there any motions?
Yeah. I'd like my tired mouth won't talk. I'd like to make a motion to recommend to the board that employees log in and out and account when they enter and leave the building and account for their hours so that can be presented to the board so they can see what's going on. And if there are any questions, they can be addressed. We'll have that information in front of us. So I would like to make a motion that we recommend that to the board, that employees log in and out and account for their hours through Facel or just written, if that's not possible. But just some way so we can have a written log of what's going on, what people are doing. What do you guys think?
Is there a second?
I second that.
There is a motion and a second on the floor to recommend to the board that accountability for hours be required through a computer program where they're required to log out when they leave the facility. Those in favor?
And log in when they
And log in when they return. Those in favor of this recommendation to the board, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that is our recommendation to the board they're gonna have to vote on it, but accountability for hours are gonna be required. All right, other than that, all of this has to be tabled until Tuesday when documentation can be reviewed. Unless you have anything else that you'd like to address.
I would call this meeting. I think everything's going really well here. I apologize. I'm a little tired. I'm on my 13th hour and didn't know this meeting was going to be called today. I think my staff are doing an incredibly wonderful job, and I want that to be documented. And I would like to see documentation on any of the allegations before we go forward.
Until the meeting on Tuesday, there is to be no discussion outside of this personnel committee, any of these issues. It is out of protocol.
So you don't want the staff to keep track of everything they do throughout the day? They're already doing that because you mandated it.
Yes.
Now.
Yes, I do. But there shall be no discussion of personnel committee matters. And he said, she said, this is what's going on.
My question is, do you
what's
want
been
me to
recommended.
ask my staff still to do?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Because your motion was to ask the board
make a recommendation
to log in and out.
Yeah.
And I'm unclear about what you want my staff to do.
That would be very helpful if you would do that. Of course, it isn't mandatory until the board tells you to do it, but it would be very helpful, and it would help us to see what's going on if you guys would do that. But yes, that's what we're going to
They've already
recommend to
been
the board.
demanded to do it, and I went ahead and asked them
Excellent.
to go by those wishes, since it was the board's wishes to demand that they keep track of everything that they do throughout the day.
Require, not demand.
Request?
Yes. So we're clear on this is to be discussed next Tuesday and not until. There will be no more emails sent regarding this. Are we clear on this?
Yes.
Then we are tabling this discussion until further documentation next Tuesday on December 8th at 5:30 here in the break room. Meeting is adjourned. So the camera needs to go off during this part. Turn off the camera.
You're live. We're live.
Live?
Live?
Live. Cut the live feed. I did not agree to this being live.
This is a Freedom of Information Act meeting, and we had
Really?
it booked in the studio so that everyone would have a place to
This
be.
is a personnel committee meeting,
That's
and it
right.
needs to be documented for the organization, but it is okay if that's how you want it. This meeting is called to order. It's going to be kind of hard with people talking out there. First order of business, I am excusing myself from these proceedings in my official capacity, as I want this to proceed professionally, and since my presence seems distracting, I am passing the chair position
Madam President,
to Vice President.
point of order.
Wait, let me finish.
Okay.
And I am giving my proxy to Marietta Camieri. Hope I pronounced that correctly. No. All right. Well, I have confidence in you to come to a decision that is best for Kat. And may I remind you all that all these personnel issues must be addressed behind closed doors. The only actual vote at the very end on what is discussed during the meeting will be the only time that anyone else will be allowed to be here, and there will be no public comment. This is a meeting that was supposed to be between the board and the manager. I'm surprised and disappointed to see this kind of a circus.
Something publicly you need to know. Freedom of Information Act specifically forbids evaluations from being reviewed. They're not FOIable. So my staff's evaluations that you all had requested and you all received, you need to destroy. The only way, and you have this in your packet, the very top page, the agenda that went out for this meeting named names and defamed individuals. So I had to edit the agenda and take that information off. That first packet also outlines your FOIA obligations. The very top left is where it speaks to employee evaluations. You may evaluate me, I evaluate my staff.
Right.
There's a
But my-
curtain between the board and the
Excuse me,
staff.
but my understanding is that we would evaluate you, correct? And you do evaluate your...
I evaluate my
However-
staff.
However, the public is not privileged to this information, but we are as the board.
All right.
That's how
And
I understand it.
you need to read the Freedom of Information Act. It's the, I believe, the fourth page that I gave you is the copy of that.
Is this the first meeting of?
It looks like this. And it says, all employee evaluation or job performance records are open only upon final administrative resolution of suspension or termination proceeding at which the records form a basis for the decision to suspend or terminate the employee, and if there's a compelling public interest in their disclosure. So those records, this is your Freedom of
Okay.
Information Act page. It's also important, you didn't at the last Personnel Committee meeting vote to go into executive session. And the last question there says, after approval of a motion to retire into executive session, this body has to vote to retire into executive session. So I just encourage you to look at the documentation and make sure you're carrying out the business of community access television legally. I've tried to provide you with that legal information, so please follow
May I
this.
ask
Live, cut the live feed. I did not agree to this being live. Turn off the camera. Turn off the camera. Turn off the camera. Turn off the camera. Turn off the camera.